When H.R. Giger created the Xenomorphs, I'm not sure he knew that we'd still be talking about them today. These creatures first appeared in Ridley Scott's Alien, and they're born from eggs that house a facehugger that latches onto a host, impregnating them with an embryo which develops into a chestburster, which again develops into a fully grown Xenomorph. We know that they live in hives like bees and ants, but how exactly are these hives maintained? What are the different castes, and what role do these castes take up in the hive? What do they eat? Do they eat anything at all? Well, in this video, we'll be answering all these intriguing questions and diving deep into the lifestyle of Xenomorphs. So, without further ado, let's begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Lifestyle of Xenomorphs and their intricate social structure. The Xenomorphs possess a remarkably intricate caste system, which is similar to the hierarchical organization seen in bees and ants, but with notable distinctions in complexity. In this system, the drones, who serve as a worker caste, are not capable of reproduction. At least, that's the case if we ignore egg morphing, which is a process by which a drone can create an ovomorph. We've uploaded a video explaining this whole process, and you can check it out from the link I'll put in the description, but for now, let's focus on the subject at hand. The drone can be distinguished from other castes like warriors because of their smooth cranial appearance, while warriors display prominent ridges. Each caste fulfills distinct roles. For instance, warriors are tasked with defending the Xenomorph hive, whereas drones are responsible for hunting and capturing potential hosts for reproduction. Some Xenomorphs are wholly dedicated to safeguarding the queen, such as hive warriors or praetorians. If we compare Xenomorph culture to that of eusocial animals like bees and ants, we can get several parallels and differences. Like bees and ants, Xenomorphs have a clear division of labor, with specific castes specializing in various tasks. This division optimizes their efficiency in maintaining the hive and ensuring its survival. However, the Xenomorph caste system is more intricate than that of bees and ants, with a wider array of roles and greater individual specialization. While bees and ants typically only have a few castes, Xenomorphs diversify further. Additionally, unlike bees and ants, Xenomorphs lack the cooperative and altruistic behaviors commonly associated with eusocial insects. Instead, their hierarchical structure seems to revolve around fulfilling the primary goal of reproduction through host acquisition and hive defense. And now, let's quickly explore just what role each caste plays in a Xenomorph society. Drones. Drones serve as the backbone of every Xenomorph hive, performing roles analogous to worker bees or ants. Their primary responsibilities center on maintaining the hive's integrity and infrastructure. Additionally, they are responsible for constructing and fortifying the hive using their own secretions. Drones share a fundamental body structure with the warrior caste, although their distinguishing feature is the entirely smooth dome of their heads, in contrast to the rigid appearance seen in warriors. While drones are somewhat smaller and more delicate compared to warriors, they still evoke fear in humans and are considered less formidable according to Yautja standards. Warrior. Warrior Xenomorphs, simply referred to as warriors, serve as the guardians and defenders in the hive. These formidable creatures stand as the larger and more robust counterparts to the drones, though they are also distinguishable by their heightened aggressive behavior. Another difference between them and the drones is that the warriors have distinct ridges present on their heads. Their primary function revolves around safeguarding the hive and its occupants from external threats. Warriors are the frontline protectors, ready to repel any intruders or adversaries that dare approach the hive. This role places them in a position of significant importance within the Xenomorph hierarchy. Moreover, warriors possess the potential to evolve into praetorians, a select few of whom may serve as the queen's personal guardians and potential successors. Typically, there are 4 praetorians at any given time. However, when the queen deems it necessary, she can release pheromones that induce the transformation of an additional 4 warriors into praetorians. Praetorians. In historical context, the term Praetorian comes from the Praetorian Guard of ancient Rome, who were elite troops responsible for safeguarding the Roman emperors. Just as the Praetorian Guard protected the Roman rulers, Xenomorph Praetorians were tasked with preserving the authority and continuation of the Xenomorph Queen's reign. Hence, Praetorians are often referred to as the Royal Guard. They serve as the pinnacle of defense and protection within the Xenomorph hive. Distinguished by their impressive size, heightened strength, and distinctive crown-like head crest, these elite creatures safeguard critical hive locations and, above else, ensure the Queen's safety. Most Praetorians are stationed in close proximity to the Queen's chambers, standing as the last line of defense against potential threats. The creation of Praetorians is also a fascinating process. They can be generated through the use of special eggs and facehuggers known as royal facehuggers. These facehuggers, distinctively larger and darker in color than their standard counterparts, carry a genetic code called the royal jelly line, a direct transfer from the Queen herself to the facehugger and the resultant embryo. This unique genetic lineage gives Praetorians their regal characteristics. However, there are instances where Praetorians evolve from the warrior caste. The Queen selects a specific warrior for this transformation, and the chosen warrior is subjected to an intense trial within the hive. Cast out from the hive, the warrior must fend for itself, undergoing a process of growth and transformation, ultimately reaching a towering height of approximately 15 feet and developing the signature head crest. Upon completion of this arduous journey, the newly evolved Praetorian returns to the hive as a worthy guardian of the Queen. Beyond their protective duties, Praetorians may also assume a similar role with princesses or immature queens in the hive, with the potential for promotion to a fully fledged queen. Queen. The Xenomorph Queen is the paramount authority in a hive, as she is the largest and most intelligent member of the species. She possesses remarkable potential for colossal growth, reaching towering heights of up to 100 feet if provided with adequate time and resources. Her principal responsibility centers on ovomorph production, as she lays numerous eggs that give rise to the initial xenomorph stage. Typically, the Queen refrains from direct combat, dedicating her focus primarily to the protection and perpetuation of the hive. She typically resides deep within the hive's inner sanctum. The Queen exhibits a degree of logic-based intelligence, particularly when interacting with human-based technology such as lifts. Despite her immobility and vulnerability when attached to her egg sac, she is extremely swift when separated from it. Queens are brought into existence through royal facehuggers. In the event of a queen's demise or the abandonment of a hive, a Praetorian may undergo full development to become a new queen, inheriting the genetic code known as the royal jelly line from the Queen's xenomorph. This genetic inheritance ensures that the Praetorian offspring closely resemble their mother in physical attributes, regardless of the host they gestate within. Consequently, queens are often considered the only pure-blooded variety of xenomorphs. Empress. The Xenomorph Empress is quite distinct from the standard Queen. While some speculate that the term Empress might be used interchangeably with Queen, Empresses actually hold more authority than Queens. The primary duty of the Empress centers around establishing order and control on planets hosting multiple Xenomorph hives. It has been suggested that in cases where a hive reaches a substantial population of around 2,000 members, the younger queens may embark on missions to establish new hives. In such cases, the Empress's role becomes pivotal, as her presence helps maintain stability and order in the Xenomorph society. If an Empress were to be eliminated, it could potentially trigger power struggles among the younger queens vying for the role of the new hive leader. Beyond the Empress, there exists an even higher echelon known as the Queen Mother, who serves as the supreme ruler overseeing all Xenomorph hives on conquered planets. This esteemed figure resides on Xenomorph Prime and is accompanied by a select personal guard of queen-size Praetorians known as Palatines, ensuring the continued authority and dominance of the Xenomorph species across multiple hives and planets. Do Xenomorphs eat? And if so, what? Before we get into what exactly Xenomorphs eat, let's first explore if Xenomorphs eat at all. Now, if we go by sources other than the movies, the research conducted by the scientists at LaSalle Bionational revealed that Xenomorphs do not really need food to sustain themselves. They learned about the Xenomorph's astounding use of its acidic bodily fluid as a fundamental component of a biological or biomechanical energy generator. Think of it as a rechargeable battery, except instead of plugging into an electrical outlet, these creatures harness the power of chemical reactions to produce a potent bioelectric charge. Who needs to breathe or eat chicken and beef when you possess an acid-powered energy source of such magnitude? This revelation not only solves the riddle of how Xenomorphs manage to endure the harsh vacuum of space for prolonged durations, it also sheds light on the cryptic survivability of the ovomorph stage, those seemingly dormant yet tenaciously alive eggs. These eggs owe their extended longevity to this very energy source, providing them with the latent vitality they patiently store until the opportune moment to unleash their deadly potential. While the theory of a blood-powered battery is indeed fascinating, the precise method through which these creatures recharge their energy reserves is still a mystery. Could they have stumbled upon a cosmic convenience store that dispenses acid refills? Or is it possible that their energy diminishes over time, leading to their eventual demise? If you think about it, even radioactive materials decay over time. But then again, there's enough evidence in other media to suggest that xenomorphs may need to eat to survive. After all, they are living organisms, and all living beings need energy to sustain themselves, from microscopic amoeba to whales. So if they do eat, what do they eat? Is it just inorganic substances like metal, or do they eat meat as well? The prevailing theory suggests that these creatures consume their sustenance in a manner similar to insects. They most probably break down food into a liquid form from which they extract vital nutrients. Xenomorphs are known for their remarkable adaptability to diverse environments, suggesting that they may feed on whatever resources are readily available. So, their menu might include a diverse range of materials, including waste, rock substances, or even metals. One particularly intriguing aspect of their feeding mechanism could be the inner jaw of the xenomorph, which aside from its primary role in attack, may function in a manner reminiscent of certain insects, like the fly. What I mean is that the xenomorph's inner jaw might emit acidic stomach contents on a potential meal, effectively dissolving it into a liquid form that they can then consume through their proboscis-like structure. The xenomorph life cycle shares several similarities with insects, and they're frequently equated with the African tsetse fly. Another theory suggests that xenomorphs could be carnivorous. A scene in Alien 3 shows the runner alien clearly biting and chewing the flesh of a freshly killed prisoner, indicating a carnivorous inclination. Ripley 8's statement in Alien Resurrection about xenomorphs being present where the meat is also implies that xenomorphs hunt for food. Further evidence of their potential to scavenge for sustenance was seen in a removed scene from the original Alien script, which remained in the official novelization. In this scene, the xenomorph is discovered breaking into the ship's food locker, leaving behind torn open cans and packages from the Nostromo's food supply, suggesting that they indeed sought out and consumed food. In the extended universe, such as the comics, there are accounts of xenomorphs exhibiting eating habits. For instance, in the comic titled Aliens: Music of the Spears, a captive xenomorph named Mozart is fed various animals, from small cats to bulls, and even a panther, all of which it voraciously consumes. In Aliens Labyrinth, Colonel Dr. Church meticulously studied captive xenomorph specimens, shedding further light on their feeding habits. Church's research revealed a rather unexpected finding. Xenomorphs appear to have a peculiar penchant for pigs. In one instance, a captive xenomorph endured a prolonged period without any apparent feeding or sustenance. When presented with two choices, a pig prepared for slaughter on one side and an armed guard on the other, the xenomorph immediately moved to attack the armed guard, demonstrating an unwavering determination to confront perceived threats. Church's observations provided valuable insights into the xenomorph mindset. It appears that these creatures don't consider themselves as individuals, but rather as defenders of their species. They exhibit an unyielding commitment to their species' survival, seemingly unburdened by the conventional instincts of hunting, killing, and feeding. They prioritize collecting hosts and eliminating threats to further the interests of their species as a whole. This further explains their hive mindset. They live for the hive and die for the hive. In fact, xenomorphs are known to live only to breed and populate themselves. Nothing more, nothing less. Contrary to conventional carnivores, xenomorphs don't appear to prioritize feeding as a primary instinct. Instead, their actions align more with advancing their species' survival and propagation by securing hosts and neutralizing potential dangers. This perspective helps explain how a full-grown xenomorph could survive for a considerable period before succumbing to starvation, given its focus on species preservation over individual sustenance. In the films, the typically encountered xenomorphs have relatively short lifespans, with exceptions such as the hive established in the Hadley's Hope colony. In the case of the colony, where colonial Marines investigated the hive, there was no evidence to suggest that the colonists were consumed in a traditional sense, stripped to the bone in a feeding frenzy. This might imply that the xenomorphs in this scenario consumed the colonists to a minimal degree, only enough to stave off starvation. This interpretation aligns with the depiction in the novelization of the original film, which says that xenomorphs are scavengers when it comes to food sources. In the case of a large colony, like LV-426, housing hundreds of inhabitants, there would likely be an ample food supply, possibly in excess, making it a viable source for the hive's sustenance. Marvelous verdict! In conclusion, the Xenomorph's eating habits are quite intriguing. I know that they're as scary as they are because we know little to nothing about these aspects, but I personally hope that Marvel explores these facets of the Xenomorphs. The evidence suggests that their focus on species preservation and a unique blend of scavenging and minimal consumption may be key to their sustenance and growth. That's all for now, but if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.